Hey everybody. Okay, so we've rendered our images out. We've got them on alphas. What I've done now is I'll put all three in Photoshop, but I'm not going to do all three. I'm just going to focus on one and just testing a few things. I did a render before without the tiara, but I threw it away. I kept the new one that I did that you guys saw, and this one has it's got like a nice depth of field on it, and I think we'll go with this one. So basically the first thing I do is just clean up the image. Sometimes there's a few artifacts that are there and I don't really want to see them. So I kind of airbrush them out. There wasn't a lot on this one, but I used some nice airbrushing. Something weird happened with that eyelash there. Look at that thing. Man, yeah, look at that thing. It's just gone mental. So we'll take care of that later. The little water line on the eye, I just blended out there a bit. You can just use normal paint brushes by looking up the color and just slowly going, or the clone tool. So basically I just always just put a background. I test a couple of things. I look at different colors, seeing if I got the right color for the tint. And then that's it. Just start cleaning the image up. Mainly what I use is just paintbrushes. Over here I want to get the eyes out, the eyeballs. So I'll just do a quick selection, circle selection. I'll copy and paste the both eyes, get them correct, and then just put them together. Control E combines the two layers, and then I'll just mask out the top eyelids and whatever. I just want the eyeballs. I put it on a feather of like one or two, just so I can get a nice little grade on each side, so they just blend a little better. Do the same with the other side. Just do a quick mask, selection and delete, and I've got the two eyeballs. All right, all right. And from there, I always make a duplicate of the things I make. I put them in an original layer, so I've got something if something goes wrong. And then you can see what I've done there. Change the hue, brightness, contrast, levels, just until I get something what looks better for me. Try and keep them natural. It's a difficult thing because it's easy to go overboard and make them so crazy or whatever, but don't. Control, people. Use control. So for me, something like that just burst out a little nicer, but I will blend them more in. Then I go over with the brush, just delete brush, just blending them in a little bit, and they're a little too bright for me. So you can just use opacity. I use a color dodge there, and there we go. That looks nice. They look nice and shiny. Very nice. So from there I kind of play a bit with the background. I like to make gradients. Gradients are great backgrounds, especially for what are these things called? The shots with the people. I forgot. You can always do a light and dark, and it's nice because you can use that to pop things out. Now usually light works on the light side of things, so where her face is light there, I would put the light, but on this occasion I used the light on the other side, which will come later on, but the light was already popping out because it was a dark background, so her face popped out nice there. And on the other side where it's a lot darker, I used light behind that to pop the darkness out. So remember, when you're dealing with images and whatnot, it's always nice to try and pop the focus out. That's an important thing about creating images. The things you don't really need to see, they can always be in the background, but the things that you do need to see, pop them out. Now this is why I didn't put any makeup on in Daz. I like to create my own because I have full control. So over here, just made a new layer, took a normal brush, soft brush, made the size, put black, and started painting in an eyeliner. You have control in Photoshop or GIMP or whatever you want to use, but this is a big reason why I never put any. I don't usually use makeup on my characters, but this one looked like it wanted it. And over here, same thing. Put the eyeliner down, see if I like it. Try a couple of things, try and join it up there on the edges, but it wasn't cool. And that's the power of this. You can put it where you want, how you want it. So I've got the eyeliner in now, and it's really nice. Over here, I've got the clone brush, and I'm just getting rid of what happened there. I haven't a clue, honestly, what happened there. Anyway, got to get rid of it. So I cloned those monstrous eyelashes out. Don't know where they came from. Okay. But that's it. So just mended that up a little bit using the clone brush and using a normal brush with color sampler. And we fixed that up. Woohoo! Now, put another layer, and I can start putting the eyeshadow. And, you can delete, create, take away, blend. I find a nice blending option here. I use soft light, and that looked pretty cool. And then I can just clean it up. Create what I want, put a little bit more. Look at that, very nice, very nice. And these are subtle things. You don't have to go mental in post-processing. But what it does give you the ability to do is to polish your image the way you want it. In something like Daz or whatever, I'm stuck with what they give me. It's hard to change. In something like Photoshop, it's so nice to be able to do this. So I want to put some blush on now. I can use the alpha so it doesn't go out of the lines, which is powerful. Hugely, whatever. I'm usually in the positive of using alphas. So I can do the blush on a separate layer, blend it in. Nothing too drastic. Over here I tried like a lip liner, but it wasn't working. So at least I tried it. I could take it out. Now I'm masking out the lips here using the quick masking tool, the rotoscoping tool. And for every layer, make a selection, copy, and then I combine the layers. Control E to combine the layers. So all these layers of the lips on one layer. From there, I can test things out, change colors. I wanted something a little bit red, a little bit more glossier. So it's on its own layer. And from there, I can pop them out nicely, and they look a lot better. The nose up here, it just looked a bit odd, that lighting on it. So I can just go in and take my brush, color sample it, and just take out that little highlight there, or whatever it was. Now over here I tried a layer of ambient occlusion, but it wasn't working. That's the beauty about Photoshop. You can add, you can take away. Nothing's broken. Everything's on its own layer. But I did darken the nostrils a little bit, and that's all I used that there for. Just darkened a little bit inside the nostril, and that's it. Now over here is a technique I usually use. I cut out the eyes, and I can make them a lot more red or whatever it is. It gives that feeling of human or crying or sadness. Over here I try to use it for the makeup, but didn't like it. It wasn't working for me, but it's an option that you can try. That's the thing about Photoshop. Use it. I tried to blend it in, but nothing was working. So made another layer and just added my own. Once again, use the alpha so you don't have to go over the lines, and you can just blend it in. See what suits you. Try a couple of the blending layers, and once you find something that looks pretty cool, boom, baby, it fits in, and you can just use the rest, delete, and the eraser, and just brush it out. Right, I'm happy with the character now. Things look nice, lips look good, eyes look good, everything. She looks like a total dominator. So now it's about oh, this is a nice one. Sometimes you'll bring an image in and you'll notice a black line. Now there's a couple of ways of getting rid of this. Photoshop has a few ways that you can defringe it, color match it with black, or color match it with white. But none of these were working for me. They all kind of messed up the image. So what I do is I use the alpha, I put a feather of about 1 or 2, I invert the alpha, invert the alpha, and press delete a few times. There we go. You can see I'm doing it there. And it just takes away that line. That's what it was. That's what it is now. So that's a nifty little way of getting rid of the little black matte around the edges. So now it's all concentrating on the background. Now you can see I always switch on and off layers, just seeing if they look better or worse. I didn't like the harsh shadow there, so I took it out a bit. I tried a few different things, but then I just cloned it out, just softened it a bit, that's all. Now the beauty about images, you can use different images to create some nice effects, especially for the background, like that. I used the green that I had, I put this image in the background, and I just use a nice blending layer. I use subtract on this one, use the opacity that I want, and it gives me that nice kind of rough or grunge at the back, so it's not this smooth background. So simple to make, really. I'll put my vignette. Thank you for the answer to that one, and just put a bit of a vignette, and that's it. Just start polishing the image. I polish off because I don't want the vignette, so I start cleaning it up, take the eraser. I don't really want it at the body. I want it to pop out. I want to look at the body. But now you can start seeing she starts to pop out, except for the background. Now here I use another grunge image. I quickly just clone out that part. Very rough job because you don't see it. I think I got rid of the other image that I used and used this one. But you can see how nice that looks. And remember that gradient background I made where it was a little bit lighter there. You see, I moved it around and moved it to the back, and now it pops the back out. And the front is lit already, so it pops out. Very cool. And then obviously you saw my angel picture. I just had to get my signature off it. But look how it pops out at the back, pops out in the front, left and right, nicely popped. Now it's just brightness, contrast on a bit of things. I put all the elements that made up the character into a group, and then I can put filters on those so it does everything at once. Brightness, contrast, hue. I tested a few things out here, just changing the tint slightly so it just fits in ever so subtle. You don't need to go mental on things. Being subtle is the key to all of this. Anyway, so this was the image that I came up with, a half photorealistic kind of fantasy toon kind of girl. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned a couple of things, and thanks for watching.